Hey guys, Jason here. I just wanted to show you something kind of neat, kind of an example how these little these consistencies have been through like throughout my life. So this is like an example. So I'm just going to show you based on the receipt that I bought today. I had to go out and get a new USB Type C cord for my phone. You see, my son's mother came and took it. It's just like it's like okay, I need one for my phone, but she takes it anyways. You know what I mean? It's like okay, yeah, probably never see it again. Point. So, anyways, I had to go get a new one. So these are the two places I went to go get one. Right, uh, for a reasonable price, like $7. Right, for a 10-foot USB Type C cord. But anyways, look, and this is Delaram, and I'll just give you the exact time. I think it has the time there. See, today, July 4th, 2024, 4444. Right? 27. And what did I say about the number 27? Right? See, I take moments like this when I share the numbers with people. I bring up the Bible, right? Explaining them why I see these numbers all the time, right? See, there's the seal of God right here, 7-2 or 2-7, right? And here's the other 2-7 here, 7-2, right? 34-47, which is 34-11, which is 7-11, or 7-2, right? Because we get it from 7-7, 2-2, 2-7, 2-7. Do you guys see that? So I thought I'd see if I did this all day, showing you all these little signs, you're never going to understand what the Bible's saying. And this is what I'm trying to explain. If you see these people online doing that all the time, they're basically your sorcerers. Okay, they're giving you all this information, right, just to basically fatten you up. You know what I mean? There's this talk going throughout the world talking about processed foods, right, and what it all contains. And most people, if you can't understand the instructions, why are you eating it, right? But yeah, that's basically what these false teachers are online doing, right? They're just giving you useless information. It's just giving you all this banter, right? But you need the actual physical proof to connect the two, the physical world and the real world, right? Then you begin to see, right, the spiritual develop. Do you see what I'm trying to say, right? You need facts, you need proof, you need evidence. If you were to take your information to the court of law, right, and you are found lying because you have no evidence to say, it's called hearsay, right? You're just making it up because it's what you believe, okay? When it has nothing to do with what the Bible is actually saying, okay? I'm just trying to be polite, guys. So, but anyways, back to the numbers. 3-4, right? 3-4 is right here, right? 3-4, right? And 2-7, right? But anyways, look at this. This is what I wanted to see. Show you the 3-7s. Okay. Now the other receipt came to 5555. Right there, 74. Right, 24. Right, at that time, 4 o'clock. So that's what I need to get, but you tell me what are the odds that two different stores show 555 and what the heck? Oh, I keep hitting that button, that's why I keep doing that. Right, it's 555 777. If we look at it here, it's 5 times 3, 3 5s, it's 15, 3 7s is 21. 2115 is 6, and 3, 3 6, or 2 9, right, 9 at 9. But anyways, I just found that neat. Right, what are the odds on that? Right, 10 foot. I had to get a power adapter with it, right? So I hope that charges my phone. All right. I thought I'd show you that. But yeah, that's an example. Like I could show you that constantly every day if that's what you wanted to hear and see. Basically what that is, if you see people doing that on Facebook, they're being sorcerers. Like they're doing the, how shall I say it, they're magicians do it all the time, right? In order to play tricks with your mind, right? So that's basic sorcery, right? You just using the internet and what you see. But if you can connect it to the Bible, like how I can, right? The 2 7s, right? Genesis 2:2, 7th day God ended his work, and rested on the 7th day, right? 2:7, 2:7, right? 7:2 or 7:11 or 1:17. Okay. And now what does that number represent? July, August, September, October, November. Jason? Okay. So I don't know how much more clear can I be, right? That to show you my name, my full name in the Bible, right? I think that's amazing, right? And knowing the information here, right? This is what people don't seem to want to comprehend, or they just want to ignore. But look at this, ICJ, ICJ. You literally are seeing J, right? I find that funny, right? So you guys can read all that, right? Take a close look at the numbers. Jason the 13th, and I'm, like I said, like I'm 47, right? Right, and 2511, which is 2 plus 5 is 7, 7, 1, or 17, right? If you look at the numbers here, 11, 23, 23, 11. See? 11:11. But ye that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and furnish the drink offering unto that number. So the question you need to ask yourself, who's drinking the drink offering? Right? The ones who are drinking the drink offering that we're seeing today are the ones that forsake the Lord. Do you guys understand that? So those that are, I guess, celebrating the Sabbath, and they're drinking their wine, right, during their celebrations, right, because they're forsaking the Lord, right, and because they forgot the holy mountain, they don't know where the Ten Commandments are. Like, this is where I'm telling you where they are, according to the Google Earth map. According to this location, Leland Jones documentary that you can seek through this link, right? And you could go there and actually see him talk about it. Okay, so that's my case, my evidence. Okay, because isn't that what we're taught in school? To come out with hard facts. Well, I think I have proven my name, the location of the Ten Commandments, and people that have documented it already. I don't know what more you need proof of the work I put in, right? For reading the Bible my whole life since I was 7. And like I said, seeing these things according to the receipt that you're seeing, I was able to figure all this out. Like I said, I was led, right? And it's not like I was led by a spirit. I just knew, right? Like if you see them, you see these things throughout your life, guys. Most people, because they go through the hustle and bustle throughout life, they're just oblivious to it. Okay, they don't want to see it. Okay. So, but most of it, in my case, I paid attention. Like you see a sunbeam, right? And you don't forget that, and it hits on this book, and the book looked like it's glowing, right? Like a cartoon, you know what I mean? And obviously you go and pick it up, right? Almost like the Sword of the Stone, which is kind of interesting in the way, because I think that is the Sword of the Stone. I was led to the Bible, as being the Bible being representative of the sword, right? I picked it up, instructed what we're instructed to do by what Jesus said is that pick up your sword, or pick up your cross, right? Representative as a sword, right? Which is not necessarily a sword, it's actually a book with a printed of a cross on it, which looks like a sword, right? So if you ever look at the Bible, there's always a cross on it. So you pick up your cross, right? Which is the Bible. And you got to learn how to separate. There's two sets of opinions going through the Bible. You have to learn to separate the two and forget, that it's not about your flesh. Okay, it's about understanding that there's verses and actual locations encoded throughout the Bible. All right, and I'm just showing you where the commandments are, proving the accuracy of it. Then it becomes, the question is it religion? It's not religion. It becomes religion when you start placing your belief in it, right? Because anybody can believe anything they want. It doesn't matter. It's about God's knowledge. Okay? That's why in Hosea 4:6 it tells you, okay? Hosea 4:6, my people destroyed for lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. Okay? That's what we're in right now. Right? See, God's not, he doesn't want sacrifices. Right? So basically the sacrifice of Jesus is meaningless. Right? Because he desired mercy. Right? Not sacrifice. The knowledge of God. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to show you. Right? And this is just a piece, a fragment of what the Bible is actually about. Like, there's my name. And it even goes as far as I'm just tempted to go get another cup of coffee. See the 17 there? What's that month? July? July 17th? What did I say about July 17th? 717? That's where the name Jason and Jesus is found. Because, like I said, I'm the fulfillment of basically I guess the resurrection part. Because it's the Father that returns. And that's part of the story that people don't seem to want to accept. Because, like I said, their sin is so great that they can't seem to let go and accept knowledge when it's presented. I'm just going to put that back here. Okay. See, this is just like a note. Like I try to condense everything, every piece of important information that's vital to you need to understand how it works, right? We begin to see there's 2 sevens involved here, right? Those 2 sevens identify who God is. Okay, guys, 2-7, which is 7-11, 7-11. Jason, right? It's in the calendar. It's why it's referred to the Lord's calendar, right? Oh, wait a minute. It was right in the beginning. So now I can put my name. I can connect them the two now. See, look. Like when anyone that's been in a church, right? Any newcomers, anyone that's, they're more welcome to come in front and receive Jesus, right? That's how it works, towards the end of the service, right? The pastor will usually come out and say, right, is there anyone that's, want prayer, right? We'll come to the front and we'll all pray, right? That sort of thing, right? So, and what when that happened to me, when I was at a Terry Winters crusade. Okay. All right. And it was put on by the local church, and we were invited to go. So that would have happened November 17th, key number 17, right? And 717, right? Camp day. Okay. Seven 17, okay, whom Jason had received another king, one Jesus. So when, like I said, that's when I accepted, I received Jesus right here on this day. It was November is the 11th month, 11/17. Okay. $17.11. I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. Okay, this is telling you that God is the atonement of souls. Okay, and when Jesus died, the ghost, right, went back to the Father. This is why he cannot be Christ, because Jesus represents God's ghost, a part of who God is. So this is why God is not Christ. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Right? This is why it's kind of confusing. You know what I mean? The idea of the Messiah was an idea created because nobody believes God exists. He's like I said, they contain God in a box. Okay, and when they contain God in a box, that was the Ark of the Covenant. That way they can just, as what Jesus said in Mark chapter 7, verse 8, for laying aside the commandment of God for the traditions of men. See, the Jews are in their traditions, same with the Christians, they're in their own traditions. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, see, God's commands are not like, oh, the 10 commandments. No, that's knowledge. You're expected to understand that knowledge, regardless if you keep it or not. You see what I'm trying to say? Okay, what I'm showing you is the divine knowledge, the divine law. You know, the unseen law that happens, like I showed you with these receipts, right? 777 at 4:44:27 p.m. July 4th, right? 7/4, 7/4/11, right? And then 5/5/5/5, okay? 5/7/5/7/5/7/5/7 is basically what's going on there. Jason represents the 5 letters, which is the 5 books of Moses. Okay, guys? Okay. 7, the 3 sevens represents, you know, God rested on the 7th day. He finished his work on the 7th day, and he sanctified it in the 7th day. Okay? And this is the name Campeau, like what I've been trying to tell you. Because sanctification involves water. Okay? Camp waters, because the verse is talking about in Deuteronomy 23:11. This is November 23rd is when I found my last name written in 2019. Okay, it was Camp Waters because, you know, in the 1611 King James, it was spelt with an E at the end. Everywhere else in the Bible, camp was spelt normally with a C-A-M-P. So that kind of just questioned me when the 2 verses, specifically 2 verses, contain the letter E behind it, it's kind of telling you there's a hidden something here. So that's what I was puzzled by them. Deuteronomy 23:11 and 29:11, right? And they both say camp waters. Basically, you know, before you come into the camp again, you have to wash yourself, cleanse yourself with water. This is the sanctification process. Okay? So this is how the Lord sanctifies his people. Okay? And this is through my name. Right? So regardless if you don't understand it, that's a fact. You know what I mean? And water in French is EAU, Campeau. Okay? And which is kind of funny to the you know, celebration of the 710, right, on that day, you know, the day of the atonement, right? It's to make fry bread. Right? Here's the identification of the name of Jason, right? 2727, right? This is identifying, you know, God's day he created. Okay, 2727. His name shows up twice, right? Jason, right? The beginning and the end. He starts off with Jason, he ends with the name Jason, is basically what's going on, right? And if you look at this, like the Spanish word for fry bread is pan de Campeau. On camp day. But yeah, 717. And I guess when you look at it, the celebrations start on the 10th, you know, my daughter's birthday, for 7 days, right? 2717 on camp day. That's a remarkable business, guys. But yeah, you're guys seeing it firsthand how the divine law works, right? This is what the Christians and or normal people think. Oh, it's God is doing his wonders. No. It's already been written. That's how it's why it's so hard to explain. You might think it is the Matrix, okay? That's the whole idea. We've already been through this, right? And it's just like that's the human beings, right? It's always going to repeat themselves. Basically, is what's happening. And the Bible just follows along too. And just people has forgotten this knowledge, right? This hidden divine knowledge that they think is, oh, God working. No, he already finished his work. He spoke everything to existence. Now it's up to us, you know, to unscramble the puzzle. You know what I mean? And understand God's knowledge, God's testimony. And that's what I'm showing you, right? And that's the whole idea. To understand there's another aspect to this Bible. There's the spiritual, there's the physical. There's also the divine law that people don't see, like the solar eclipse. We all seen that happening. Happens twice, even the blood moons, okay? And even these tropical storms. Okay? So these things can stop if people stop lying. That's how really simple it is. If you cannot like how I'm showing you cold hard evidence, right? Well, then there's no point in you trying to teach the word, okay? Because it's already been created. Now it's up to you to understand God's testimony. That's the testimony that Revelation talks about. Okay, it has nothing to do with the testimony of how we lived our lives, how we came to Jesus. That's pointless because the creator of the universe, right, had left his imprint. And I'm showing you that imprint, the seal of God, so to speak. You know, 7:2, Revelation 7:2, the seal of God. Right? So another thing I like to talk about is like most people, because like I said, I'm 47 now, and most people, I think in their 20s and 30s, are not really adapted to understand Friday the 13th, the 80s movies, right? So I like to mention Jason the 13th. Okay, um, if you're familiar with it, you can just Google or YouTube Friday the 13th, New Beginning. Some scenes will show up. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, um, Jason represents as the beast, the slayer. Okay, and in the Bible, Jesus makes reference to um, in Matthew 10:34. Okay, I didn't come to bring peace, but I came with a sword. Okay, so 10:34 represents 17. Like if you do the math, you can see it, right? 17. So 17 is a pretty important number throughout the Bible. Same with 13. Jason the 13th. Okay, so the movie in 1985, it came out as A New Beginning. Okay, which is the same year, November 17th, 1985 is when I received Jesus. Okay, remember when I was a kid, I never watched the movies, but I'm familiar with them because the older kids spoke about them, right? So that's how I heard about it. But I never watched them. I watched some of the scenes when I was older, but I wasn't really a fan. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is that Jason the 13th, he's a slayer. Okay, if you notice the movies, there's a theme of every time that Jason is slaying people throughout the movie, they're usually committing fornication. Okay, and they're always doing something evil where Jason has to show up, right? So when I looked at it from the biblical point of view, is when I used to read the Bible, and when I did start, watch a few of the scenes, it dawned on me that he was the good guy getting rid of the wickedness. As what the Bible was portraying what would happen in the end time, or where Paul was talking, stuff like that. Because remember, he was a visionary too, right? So we can't forget about some of the stuff he sees, because it connects too, right? But yeah, that's what they were seeing in the movies. The movies were doing it. Just like, when some of these prophets are talking about rapture, what they would see, they were visionaries too, right? And they would see people disappear, is what the rapture, predicts, which basically already happened in the movie, in the, I think, an Endgame or something, in Avengers. So that happened because people disappeared, right? And let's see what else. Yeah, the gods were on the earth. These magnificent beings. The great men of renown. Well, yeah, that's Genesis. We're in that time, is what I'm trying to say, right? People don't see the Bible like that. Okay, they can't seem to connect the two. These movies, the men of renown, you know, the gods of the earth, right? Did we not watch those shows just recently? So, anyways, what I was trying to say was that this is how the divine law works, guys. This is the hidden path that not many find. This is why it's written, right? We all should know, because if you're a Christian, you should understand this verse, right? Like God strives ahead of us. Okay, this is where people seem to fall short. As what Paul says in Romans 3:23, right? For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, right? But when you start listening to what Paul's talking about, it's always so negative. It's like, oh, we can't do it without Jesus Christ. It's already been done. The sin's already been paid. So that's the thing. So it was Paul that came to change times and laws and times and seasons, which has occurred. They created all this stuff. Men had created this whole system that we're in right now, through the calendar and everything. All this, it's all created by men. But guess what happens? This is where the miracle of God shows up. He writes it down to prove it, right? So you can actually see it firsthand, to be on the same level as God. Right? And that's the amazing part. That you would actually see the actual divine, a book that was written over 2,000 years ago, right? Actually, it coming into the real world. Okay? This is the creation part, guys. Right? Where it bridges from fantasy. Oh, God's invisible, and some apparition causing all this stuff. Right? And this is the problem with man's mindset. Because they put God in a box, okay, they do whatever they will according to what they think God says. Okay, see, that's what people are thinking right now, because they're not reading, they're not understanding what the Word is actually saying. See, the world has gotten to the point is they didn't trust the 1611. It was not good enough. Okay, and then they went to their own books where they can understand it how they see it. That's the error. That's why it's important to understand it takes a king to translate the Bible, because God anoints his king, right? Which is basically God choosing what God wants to choose. In this case, he chose King James. Okay? This is the problem with zealots. They can't seem to accept that God, right, can do what he wants. Right? How God becomes God is he proves his prophets, therefore sanctifying his prophets, because they not only they become, they're telling the truth, that they're going to go down in history as the great ones. I'm just some guy that happened to read the Bible. Do you know what I mean? Show you guys this based on what the prophets were seeing. Right? Now that is true power, what they had back then. This is what we have to respect. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, guys? When you don't look at the words as how I'm showing it to you, you're not only disrespecting those wise ones, you're insulting their intelligence, guys. That's what these Christians are doing on YouTube right now, because they're just vagrantly cherry picking what they want to see to fill their flesh. They don't want to see the ones they don't want to see. They choose not to see it. Okay? Which is, they don't seem to understand is that you have the ability to choose what you want to see. Why doesn't God have the ability to choose what he wants to see? Okay, this is what is like the main question that everybody needs to ask themselves when they're on YouTube. Okay, it's tough enough myself to show you the written name that I've earned this degree in the Bible, right? Far superseding any type of doctoral, magisterial, level. It's on the divine level, guys, where I'm at. Okay, I see things a lot differently, way differently than people, and I can see and I can smell it to people's hearts. And that's what's so freaky about it, because when I talk to people about this and I show them firsthand, I can explain the Bible in less than 10 minutes. And they're just like, whoa, you're freaky. You're freaking me out. And I said, I'm not mean to freak you out. But you need to understand this information, that this stuff is going down. And that's the scary part, because most people don't know. They think that they're just going to go through life, or we're going to get Jesus is going to come pick us up and poof, we're going to be gone away because I acted so good. No, there is more to this book than you need to understand. You need to understand the divine part. And without understanding the divine part, how are you supposed to understand what heaven is about? Right? That you need to understand that, God is the one that comes down to the earth, like I was saying in my last video, to come down to the human level and be a human and to understand what it's like, right? But still become the divine teacher. Do you know what I mean? To show you what the divine actually is, right? So, anyways, I want to say that I've been trying to just be patient, right? See, that's my spirit name. My grandmother's name is Bertha Bird. (17:7), like 1711, right? Yeah, see, I've been putting these out. I don't know if they make effect. I don't know if anybody sees them, right? See, it's when you look at it, it's all about when you die, you're going to stand before the throne. Okay? When you do, what are you going to do? You're probably not going to, you're just going to be standing there in awe. Because that's what happened to me. And basically, you get scanned. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's see if this guy has the knowledge of God is in your brain. And then the scanner, goes through you, the person that doesn't have no knowledge of God, boom, they're gone. Do you know what I mean? Can you just imagine that? Right? But anyways, that's what I seen, guys. Like, I coded blue at St. Paul's Hospital in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, right? I even have the medical report, right? I recorded it in all of my last videos. But anyways, it happened March 10th. Go figure, 13. Number 13. So anyways, I coded blue, and during the time I went blue, I coded blue. I seen this image. It just happens briefly. Like it's like a flash, right? And I seen this image, right? And it's like it was like in a room, right? And I was standing there, and there was 5 books and 5 beings, okay, behind those books, okay. And the next thing you know, I'm awake. The first thing, the next morning, I just couldn't get that out of my mind. The 5 books. Like, what are the 5 books? What's it telling me, right? So I Googled 5 books. Okay, guess what showed up? If anybody's familiar with the 1611, it contains the Apocrypha. In the Apocrypha, right, it has the 2nd book of Maccabees. Okay, and the one I'm referring to, I think it's hold on, if I can remember, it had something to do 22, 23. Okay, maybe I showed this before. Okay. Come on, internet. But yeah, so what I was trying to say is, um, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand about the divine law, the law that not many people see. Okay, but you see it at play every day, so to speak. But that's what I mean. That's the divine law. It's what you might call karma, right? But it's the divine law. It's like what I like to say. That's what the truth of the matter of it is. There's no spares. There's nothing at play here. It's things are supposed to be. They're supposed to be, right? So second book of Maccabees. No, I think it's no. I think I remember wrong. I think it's like this. That's where I get the 22, 23 from. Right here. So, all right. Okay, this is what came up when I first Googled it, right? Because this is what I seen when I coded blue. Okay, like I said, I just know these things, and it's just because I just automatically. Anyways, point is, this is 2223, which is represented the year 2022 and 2023. Okay, all these things I say being declared by Jason of Cyrene in 5 books will essay to abridge in 1 volume. I couldn't tell you what that means, but you see JC there, the name Jason. Okay, so I said this guy is eternal, right? He keeps being, born again, and again and again and again. That's why it's been always recorded in history. Jason was a Greek hero. Okay, he was also a high priest, right? As you see here, right? He was a high priest in Israel. Okay, so people need to do the research on this dude. Okay, and I think finding this information about him, doesn't matter what, brings us all, is what it says, into 1 volume. It'll just all come together, if that makes sense, guys, right? And this is being fulfilled during this time from the year 2022 to 2023, which is also Isaiah 22:23. Okay, see, what started my kidney disease, I think I was just turning 23. Okay, and I had an accident, and I shot myself in the left foot with an impulse dealer. Okay, rushed me to hospitals, but about a couple of weeks later, I started experiencing swollen legs, swollen face, and even peeing blood. It was pretty bad, right? Until November came around, that I had to actually go into the hospital, and I was admitted. Okay, so Dr. Clausen diagnosed me with membranous nephropathy, which is scarring of the kidneys. That means something scarred my kidneys. Okay. Well, I couldn't figure it out until I realized it was just a trace amount of hydrocarbon. Okay, can get into the kidney, right? If it's not treated right away. But because we couldn't figure it out, I thought it was the actual nail that caused the infection, and it was ruled no, that wouldn't happen, right? Without realizing, the gas cartridge in the gas cartridge, when it injects like a needle, right? As what a pass load nailer does, right? It's like a needle, direct inject, right? So that I know that affected my kidneys, right? because there was a study done in 2005, 2006 that's when I started digging into it, right? Is that there's studies finding that hydrocarbon, just a small amount, can cause kidney failure. And if this is happening, why the kidney failures are going off through the roof throughout the world, it's because of hydrocarbons in our environment that we're absorbing, and we just don't know it, right? So, like when I also started studying information on early 1600s, and they were using like a lot of chemicals during their products. Like kids' toys were made out of lead. And kids were dying of lead poisoning, right? Like this has been going on for some time in the name of marketing, guys, right? And it's still going on through our processed foods and our chemicalized, bioengineered medications. Okay, this is all because of profit and gain, getting people sick because it just makes sense. You're right. And people don't even know it. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that this is all tied together, right? With how we treat the waters, the planet's waters. It goes back to Genesis 2:15, to tend and keep the land. Okay, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's the first commandment, right? And if you see how people have been treating the ocean, the planet, right? It's horrendous. You can't drink the water anymore. Okay. Now, if you go right up in the mountains, right from this glacier spring, well, it's pure. But you come down to the lakes and streams down here, the fish are contaminated with mercury, right? But yeah, so this is what coincides with me, okay? Because God is connected to the land, all right? That whatever that is reflected on the waters and the streams and the continent affects the people, okay? And when we start understanding what the Bible, the commandments are saying, like for instance, Revelation or Exodus 20:12, honor thy mother, honor thy father, because people, human beings, take that, oh, it's about my family, right? But then that's why they think it's the expectation is so high. We got to keep the commandments. No. When this is on a higher level. Okay, so when it's talking about honor thy mother and father, it's talking about the Heavenly Father, and it's talking about Mother Earth. That's why it finishes the sentence there. That way, thy days be long, that the Lord thy God gives thee. See, it's telling you, the verse is telling you, it has to do with the land. Okay? Do you see what I'm trying to say? This is why it's important to understand that the Bible is like I said, on a divine level. Right? And that's why I'm showing you how this is working, because like like from the basic receipt to now to actually what the Bible's saying, right? I'm trying to show you what the real name is, the Heavenly Father's name. And this is what the information that's trying to get out, right? Right? That's why we have John 17:17, right? Sanctify them by thy truth. Thy word is thy truth. Okay? And so, can't argue with Camp Day. I should start promoting that, because they're using my name. Tim Hortons, I need a royalty now, eh? So, anyways, thank you for taking the time to watch my babble. I hope you found it interesting, right? Because I'm trying to go where no man's gone before. So, Thank you. Love the Lord your God with your heart, mind, and soul. Didn't come to take away the law of the prophets. I came to fulfill. Thank you, and have yourself a good evening.